There were two general reactions to the revelation that Josh Hawley was running for his life. I think the first is probably the one that maybe you experienced, which was to laugh at him. Let's take a look at how the actual room during the committee presentation responded. Yeah. Josh Hawley isn't going to be worried politically about how he comes out of this, but knowing that a group of people that you have to work with and be around are laughing at you, that's got to hurt a little bit. Now, many people did laugh, but that wasn't everyone's reaction, by the way. I want to go to a bit of video of Michael Fanone, one of the cops who was brutally assaulted on that day. Here's what he had to say about that video coming out.
Well, I mean, to be completely honest, to give you my, the first thoughts that popped into my mind was Josh Hawley is a and he ran like and you see the way that these guys perform in public and then what they are in reality. You get a lot of that nonsense up here on Capitol Hill with these members of Congress that have become like a caricature in the media, but in reality, they have no character. They have no honor, they have no integrity, and the way they behave outside of the camera's eye is very different.
And look, if anyone can throw those words around when it comes to Josh Hawley, I think the guy who came very close to dying on that day, who was brutally assaulted, gets to say it. And by the way, the attacks against Michael Fanone have not ended. We're gonna show you another video in just a second. It's up until the present day, but Brett, what'd you think about that?
I mean, they are who we thought they were. All these guys are exactly who we told you they were. But again, it's gonna be that calculus. Everybody's doing calculus as to what is gonna benefit them in the end. I think the one main takeaway is looking at people like Fanone and Fetterman. People, if the right wing has their populist approach, that's people in MAGA hats, you need tatted up blue collar fighters to show up and call people like Josh Hawley a total B word. And say, when I see you running, you're gonna keep running. You're gonna run for Senate again? Well, we're gonna run you out of Senate again.
Yeah.
You ran up against Claire McCaskill, who is just never ever once gonna fight for anything visibly. Not gonna, S-post against anyone, just gonna do their little, I did a poll and I think I'm gonna be okay. No. Where are my fighters? Everyone needs a fighter. And Josh Hawley most certainly isn't one, and you can't let him get away with pretending to be one.
Yeah, exactly. No, more of a runner. If you did run him out of the Senate, you might never catch him again, actually. In any event, as I said, Michael Fanone still getting harassed. Take a look at this experience he had outside of the Capitol building. And then there's an added little bit of fun, sort of, at the end.
Why were you there January 6th? You were not even on duty. Why were you there January 6th, Michael Fanone? You were not even on duty. Why do you resist CNN now? Are you a real police officer?
Leave her alone, sir.
Are you disappointed that you're going to make men face years in jail because of your wives?
Why do you have so many cameras?
Hey!
Hey! Kidding me? An assault. Kidding me? He just hit me with his phone. He faked it. Coming, man.
Okay, we're gonna return to Michael Fanone for reasons that I think are abundantly clear. Now, that guy who I assume was a counter protester did hit the protester with his pole, sort of. I don't know.
Dude, it's a flop.
Do I watch football now? I feel like I watch football now.
No, that's a flop, dude. That's basketball. That's a flop. That's what they call it. When you're like, oh, and you flail and you pretend you took the charge. Oh my God. That never looks good for you, because one, either like you're faking, which is obviously the case, or B, when you fall over a tiny bench, you are crying like a little Josh Hawley and flailing like a freak.
Allegedly. Now, I want to be very clear because
none of that looks good for you, bud.
Hold on, Brett. I assume that the sort of person who would do that would also be extremely litigious. So let's be very clear. I'm not asserting anything about whether it was as bad as was depicted. We're simply debating possibilities, and I will leave it to a court of law. I will say though, even if it was a light hit, and it could have been a hard hit. Maybe the video didn't seem to capture it, but it could have been. Even if it was light hit, don't hit people with a pole. Like that's actually coming out of January 6th. That was my advice. Stop hitting people with poles. So if you're a Trump supporter, stop taking Trump flags and trying to beat cops to death with them. That would be my advice to you. But if you're on the other side, don't poke them with poles either. Stop hitting each other, America. That's my advice.
Blocking. He was just trying to get some room for the guy. I don't think that was an assault. That was a guy being like, just let him go in the building. And he's just holding up his sign. And the guy following him ran into the sign. That's it, okay? In my opinion, watching it, that's what I think happened.
The thing is, I wonder, when you see a video like this, is there something we're not seeing? It's kind of a tight crop, it's dark, so like you can't tell.
All right, don't stop.
What?
You're very kind. You're very kind, John. You're a noble dear heart, and we all love you for it.
Brett,
however, let's be honest.
That's so nice of you, Brett. You thought that you were like stopping me from being kind. No, I was just going to imply that possibly, what's her face, the congresswoman was there using the strength that it took to absolutely devastate Michael Tracy.
Maxine Waters.
Maybe Maxine Waters was out of frame pushing on the pole. And that is how, with Super Saiyan strength, they were able to knock that guy over the bench. No, that is nice of you to assume that I was being nice. No, I was being condescending there. Anyway,
when I say, it's the psychology of the lady saying, "Are you a police officer?" That is someone who, this is a theme of modern politics. People who have nothing going on.
Yeah.
Who could fight for real actual change in America, instead get their jollies more intensely by buying insane whack job conspiracy theories and looking at the live concurrent viewership on their whatever Facebook Live Nana's using, and when the view count is like 8. That's why I call it masturbation. They get so, she is living, she's getting this weird perverted arousal out of confronting a guy who almost got beaten to death on camera in front of the world.
Yeah,
like she knows better than people's eyes.
Yeah, you're not wrong. But also like that woman who was like, "Are you a real cop?" Like she could be the next congresswoman. What is the difference between her and Marjorie Greene? 2 years?
And that dynamic is the road to fascism.
Check out the Damage Report podcast each day, wherever you get your podcasts, whether Pocket Casts or Stitcher or iTunes. You can join me as I give you the news and stories you want, with a range of co-hosts and interview guests jumping in on the fun each day. Again, that's the Damage Report, wherever you get your podcasts. And if you get them at iTunes, don't forget to rate and review. Sometimes I'll read them live on the show.